NXTGEN720, and I'm back with another video. And usually, like I said, I've been slacking. Your boy been busy. I usually do a podcast every Sunday, or at least every other Sunday. But there really hasn't been any news this week, so hopefully, somebody release some news tomorrow or something, and I have a podcast. But anyway, it's something I like to do every now and then. You guys know I have a Facebook group. It's called Bang Bang NXTGen Gamers. If you're not a part of my Facebook group, you're missing all the actions. I'm there every day posting, answering questions, or whatever the case may be. I will leave a link in the description. Bang Bang NXTGen Gamers. If you can't find me, if you can't find my group because it is private, send me a friend's request to Zaire Johnson, and I add you into the group. Now, with that being said, like I said, I do this every so often. I ask the members of my Facebook groups any questions about gaming or whatever the case may be. I will give you a shout out and answer your question in the video. So here we go. I just posted this about 5 minutes ago. I was looking for about 10 questions. I got about 34 damn questions up here, but I'm not going to answer the 34 questions, but I'm going to, Okay, here we go. The question was, well, I told you guys I'm answering any questions about whatever you want to ask me. I'm going to answer your questions, and in this video, I'm going to give you a shout out. Okay, my man Ibn Till from North, my brother. Okay, he said, here's his question. Okay, answer this. What's up with the servers of Xbox One and the PS4? Never played PS Online, but today in the group somebody said PS Online does not have lagging problem when he's just on some trolling bullshit. Yes. Xbox Live, hands down, is Xbox Live hands down is a better service than PlayStation than the network. Than the PlayStation Network. I'm not talking about what they're offering you as far as deals. I'm just talking about strictly online gaming. Now, as far as the Xbox One and the PlayStation 3 online, there is going to be lag. Because they're doing peer-to-peer. Just being real. But next generation, we all know that Xbox One is going to have dedicated servers for their gaming, for all their first and third party games, and Sony is still doing peer-to-peer, and match to play, still doing peer-to-peer, so kudos. I hope I answered your question. Okay, my man Josh Hayes, is it cool? Hey, yo, y'all ask some questions. Alright, that's not one question. Okay, here we go. My man Tyler Starnes, why can't Sony ponies accept that Kinect, Wi-Fi Direct, Skype exclusive, time DLC, and more AAA games and dedicated are the future of gaming in this industry heading to, and why does ponies have such a fat ass? Okay. Yeah. My pony do got a fat ass. Now, as far as you saying, as far as a lot of, and I'm not saying Sony, fans of Sony, I'm talking about the ponies. That is huge. Microsoft, the Xbox One will have Wi-Fi Direct, while the PlayStation's still doing Bluetooth 2.0. But Wi-Fi Direct can handle something like 256 packets of data per second or some shit like that. I know Bluetooth 2.0 is still doing it's like 2 or 3 packets per second or some crazy shit like that. Just for this on the Wi-Fi Direct, this basically voice chat quality on the Xbox One would be better than a landline telephone. But you can do so much more with Wi-Fi Direct. If you have a smartphone, you can hook your phone up, your cell phone up to Wi-Fi Direct. You probably can answer your cell phone from your Xbox One. There's a lot of things you can do with Wi-Fi Direct, as far as the Kinect, I'm not really with the motion gaming shit, Maybe, I won't say that I'm not, but maybe because I haven't played the game that really takes advantage of that. But as far as the Kinect, it's a powerful piece of equipment. I was reading that the Kinect we can have a lineup here of 6 people, and the Kinect can point me out. Real shit. If I have a bunch of people in my house and we all playing Fight Night or Killer Instinct, and someone changes my controllers, once they hand me back my controller, the Kinect recognizes me that I'm playing, that I have the controller, and it configures my buttons the way I like it, or select my favorite character, or whatever the case may be. Like the Kinect can do a lot of, a lot of shit. So like I said, and it is the future of gaming. Like I said, dedicated gaming service for all first and third party, games is big shit, and I guess it is leading towards the future, because in the sixth generation and the seventh generation, we all, peer to peer. It is what it is. You know what I mean? I hope I answered your question. My man Kevin, senior night. What PS4 games are I getting? Right, yeah, you guys ain't I'm not too happy about the PlayStation 4 launch lineup of games. So right now I have on my list. I'm not excited about a bunch of free-to-play games that I can play on my PC. You know, I'm just being real. Those games aren't fun. They aren't fun on my PC. They're definitely not gonna be fun on my console. But right now for the PS4, I'm gonna get NBA 2K14 again, and most likely Killzone. And I'm not a big Killzone fan, but there's not anything else to play. I don't know why they didn't make Infamous Second Son a launch title and push that neck shit back. You know what I mean? The second thing too, I don't know why Sony's releasing Killzone in the same month as Call of Duty and Battlefield. Like they're sending that game out there to be slaughtered. You know what I mean? But anyway, I hope that answers your question. Okay, Daryl McGreedy, why do Titanfall pre-order numbers matter right now? Why is Titanfall a game that's to be released probably plus 5 months from now on 3 plat but have more pre-orders than Infamous Second Son, which is released sooner? You said what? Why do Titanfall's pre-order numbers matter right now? Why is Titanfall a game that's to be released probably 5+ months from now on 3 plus plat will have more pre-orders than Infamous Second Son? I don't know what to say. Forrest, okay, maybe I just should have said, I don't know if he's trolling or whatever the case. Forrest Killzone, Titanfall's about the number. The game doesn't even have a release date yet. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It doesn't even have a release date. So if you're saying about the numbers, not being well, like it's like saying Halo 5. We all know that game is going to sell well. But then the next Halo, that's coming out for the Xbox, and those pre-order numbers are low. You know what I mean? Like I said. You don't see pre-order numbers start to pick up once the game gets a definite date that it's coming out, and then more people be prone to pre-order the game. Me, myself, personally, I'm going to say this. After my launch games that I get, I'm not buying any more games from GameStop. I'm going to download all my games, digitally from the Xbox store or, from the Xbox Marketplace or the PlayStation, Marketplace. I'm not going to buy any more games from GameStop. I'm going to download my games digitally. What they are going to allow you to do, I took a survey. We are going to be able to pre-order games on our next generation consoles. And they would pre-install to your console. And 11:58, they would unlock you to start playing from there. So I hope I answered the question. Ibn Till, again, what does the PS4 have to offer next gen in the next gen era? That is like what do they have to offer? You know what I mean? And from my personal opinion, I hope, I don't know. And I think I kind of had a brain fart, They showed me, I get it. They have a beefier GPU, or they put a better CPU than what they had the previous gen. But what can this console do? And I really don't know, Evan. Sony hasn't really, said much on that. I know they said they're charging this for online multiplayer, games, but they're still doing peer-to-peer, you know what I mean? I don't know, as far as features, I know they do let you, record, you have the DVD-R functionality, you are able to do gameplays, but you need the camera, to do Let's Plays and stuff, so, which is, I pre-ordered the camera for the rip, you know what I mean? I saw, like I said, when I seen the controller light up and it sunk with the camera, and the guy was sending the guy a message on the stage and he was pointing this controller at the TV. I said, well, shit, you need the controller and so you need the camera to do all that. So, I got it back then, but, I don't know, Evan. I want to see what they say. And to me, that indie shit is not cutting it. So, I don't know if. Next question. From Deshaun McMillan Holmes. There's an what the fuck? I don't know what the fuck he's trying to say here. Accusation about. Okay, I got you. There's an accusation about he spelled it wrong. There's an accusation about the Wii U / having a third-party conspiracy, as in third-party companies leaving Nintendo behind because of non-DLC added to the content. What are your thoughts about third-parties' accusation of Nintendo and not supporting them? It's being said that they're jealous of the exclusives. I'm sorry. They're saying they're jealous of Nintendo exclusives. Okay. Let me repeat this again. I'm sorry, so there's an accusation about the Wii U / Nintendo having third-party conspiracies and all that stuff. And I don't think that third party, I don't think it's a conspiracy. Well, like I said, this is a business. Like, you know what I mean? If it makes dollars, it makes sense. Third-party games sell like shit on the Wii U. Need for Speed, there's one Need for Speed. They were supposed to have the best looking console, console version, and the game sold like 20,000 copies. Call of Duty Black Ops on the Wii U. The beta version also, like I said, Nintendo fans, you say y'all want third party support, you guys got to go out there and support your console. I'm just saying, if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. So, as far as Nintendo, what their networking, their infrastructure is horrible. You know what I mean? No cross game chat. Um, no party chat. No, basically, like a lot of 99.9% of the games don't have game invites. They don't have voice chat. Like Nintendo Network is just dog shit. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's a conspiracy because of the game sold. I don't see no company, whether it's EA, whoever's going to cut off their nose despite their face. You know, EA's investors not going to want to hear about no personal vendetta that John really could tell them they had with Iwata or whatever. If if the Wii U was selling software, even selling systems, developers will support it more. My man Scott Gerthy, is it too late to ask Zaire Johnson? No, it's not too late. Answer me a question, dog. You didn't answer me a question. My man Marcus Albert Williams, Zaire, will you be able to play Xbox Live arcade games on Xbox One? Nah. You won't be able to play any games that you download on your Xbox 360 on your Xbox One. It's two different types of architecture. You know what I mean? The Xbox One is using x86. You know what I mean? Nah, unless Microsoft hasn't said anything about the cloud or be able to stream your old games over the cloud. So maybe that way, but right now, no, it's not backwards compatible at all. Okay. Peter, what are your thoughts on all of a sudden the PSI being able to like Xbox One Connect? What is my thoughts? Yeah, I think. Oh man, he's saying. Peter said. Well, shout out to Peter. Peter's saying, what are my thoughts on the PlayStation Eye copying or trying to be like the Connect One? Don't get me wrong. It's cool. I like the features being able to. Hey, that how you say Connect on or Xbox on or PlayStation on or whatever the case may be. All that's cool. You know what I mean? Like you said, I don't know. Like I said, I thought Sony fans didn't care about that stuff. Now they jumping up and down, telling, oh, we got voice control too. Like I think it's a bunch of hypocrisy. You know what I mean? But hey, whatever it takes to make that indie station a better console, I'm all for it. Low blow. Okay, my man Marcus Albers winning. Nope, the same question. My man Nicholas, he said, why is Sony Jones so thirsty and always begging for Xbox exclusives? Yeah, it's Sony fans, which I think is crazy. You have a lot of Sony fans who say the Xbox One is dog shit and they don't have no games, but they're making petitions to have their games on their console. That's the funniest shit ever. Like I said, the hypocrisy in this community, and even on the internet, is crazy. You say the Xbox One is dog shit. They don't have no games, but you're making petitions to bring their exclusives to your console. Go figure. All right. My man Raphael. Sony wants Microsoft games, and they're fighting for Microsoft games like Titanfall. Yeah, okay, I already answered that question. Jojo Fernando, what PS4 games are you getting so you can play with your PS4 homies? I answered again. Jojo Fernando, I'm getting NBA 2K and Dookie Universe. And Killzone. That's about it. I have a small amount because I've been going on for 13 minutes here. I'm about to wrap this video up. Thank you guys for answering me. I'm gonna do this like I said once a week. My way is to give you back. Thank you all you guys subscribe to me, helping me making this motherfucking channel grow. But as I always say, bang bang. Damn, dog. You said motherfucking Dookie Universe. You niggas gonna be on that Dookie Universe?